The reason that apprenticeships are so important to us and vocational education is the impact it has and how we've seen it transform so many people's lives. This year, our key focus is actually making sure we keep the voice of the learner alive, and is the reason we've carried out a recent learner survey prospective. Some of the findings were really interesting to us. One of the key facts that seems to have taken back a number of the people so far at the conference is that 60% of young people did not know that an apprenticeship was an option for them, as they had not received that during their careers advice. One of the more positive elements that came out is when somebody had actually taken an apprenticeship, it changed the views of their families by 70%, and originally they'd been very focused on just thinking that university following A-levels was the only opportunity. We also asked them to comment on the barriers to maybe going towards an apprenticeship, and they were really interesting views also that we received back. We were told that some people felt too old, which was one of the main reasonings, and also that they were forced into, if they had the ability, going on to continue their education at a higher education institute. I think one of the things we really do need to do is work to see how we actually change these perceptions and those barriers. There's a number of us that have seen the power of FE, training providers and the delivery of apprenticeships. And I think with having employers involved, we can actually create more confidence in young people to realise that this is maybe a better pathway for them. One of the issues we have is we never seem to have cracked this within this country. And we're currently in National Careers Week, so I think this is a great time to talk about some of the issues here, but also maybe how we can improve it. So at the moment, we don't necessarily have that independent advice. We know that schools are under huge pressure, as everyone else, to actually make sure they keep learners, to continue them and educate them. And it seems that 69% of young people could actually talk about the fact that they've been informed about A-levels. It's less than 6% that can actually talk about being informed about an apprenticeship and knowing what an apprenticeship is. So I think if we could actually have a call for that more independent advice. I know that the current government are looking at a career college and have recently recruited somebody to look at this issue. And it does seem to be high on the political agenda for all parties. So I think we really need to use this week and this opportunity to feed in some of that call for that more independent advice and actually have real information with employers feeding into that to make sure people are aware of the occupations that apprenticeships can offer to them. It's great we're here celebrating apprenticeships, but we do need to remember that that is only 5.6% of 16 to 18-year-olds, with around 40% going on to higher education. So there's a huge percentage that we're currently not talking about. It's easy to forget, with such a focus on apprenticeships, that the reforms that are going through at the moment affect all vocational provision. And I do think that there needs to be a higher focus on the percentage that we currently don't seem to be talking about at the moment. We've also had recent announcements about funding cuts, and it is that percentage of vulnerable people that could be most effective. And I think there's been lots of calls to get the government bodies to recognise this, but maybe what we need to start doing now is showing different ways of where we can deliver to that percentage, as our voice isn't currently being heard at the moment. So let's show the positives of what is actually delivered, what further education and training providers are giving to those people.